Imagine you are camping alone in the African savannah. No tent, no walls, just a sleeping bag between you and one of the most dangerous ecosystems on the planet. And somewhere in the darkness, a lion is watching you. You can hear it breathing. You can feel its presence. And then, nothing happens. The lion walks away. You wake up alive. And this raises one of the most fascinating questions in all of human survival. Why do predators so often ignore sleeping humans? Why would an apex predator, an animal that could kill you in seconds, choose to simply walk away? The answer reaches deep into the ancient history between humans and animals. And what scientists have discovered is stranger and more beautiful than you could ever imagine. Let's start with something that happened in 2019. A man camping alone in a national park in Tanzania woke up to find a lion sitting beside him. Not attacking, not growling, just sitting there, watching. The man stayed completely still, his heart pounding so hard he could feel it in his throat. And after several long minutes, the lion stood up, stretched, and walked back into the darkness. This wasn't an isolated incident. Safari guides, wildlife researchers, and experienced trackers have reported this pattern for centuries. Sleeping humans are often ignored by predators who would otherwise consider them prey. But why? The first answer seems almost too simple. Predators are opportunists, not gamblers. Think about how a lion hunts. It watches potential prey for hours. It studies movement, posture, vulnerability. It waits for the perfect moment when the odds are absolutely in its favor. A sleeping human presents a very specific problem. You are still. You are flat on the ground. You look wrong. Not like the prey a predator has spent its entire life learning to recognize. A wildebeest running triggers every hunting instinct in a lion's brain. A sleeping human triggers confusion. The shape is unfamiliar in this vulnerable position. The smell is strange. A mixture of synthetic materials, food, smoke, and something the predator cannot fully categorize. And in the world of predators, confusion equals risk. Uncertainty equals danger. Because a predator that makes a mistake gets injured, and an injured predator starves. So the lion watches, evaluates, and walks away. But there is something deeper happening here, something that goes back much further than any single camping trip. For nearly 2 million years, humans and large predators shared the same landscapes. We competed for the same resources. We ate the same prey. We slept in the same places. And during all of that time, something remarkable happened. We developed a relationship, not a friendly one, necessarily, but a complex one, built on mutual recognition, mutual caution, and something that looks surprisingly like mutual respect. Early humans were not the apex predators we imagine. For most of our evolutionary history, we were medium-sized prey animals. We were hunted by cave lions, saber-toothed cats, giant hyenas, and enormous eagles that could carry off a child. We survived not because we were stronger, but because we were smart. We used fire. We stayed in groups. We learned the patterns of predators so precisely that we could predict where they would be before they arrived. And the predators learned our patterns too. This is perhaps the most important part of the whole story. Large predators that survived alongside humans learned to read us. They learned what a standing human means, what a moving human means, what a group of humans means, and crucially, what a sleeping human means. Over thousands of generations, predators that attacked sleeping humans often paid a price. A sleeping human wakes up screaming. The group responds. Fire is thrown. Weapons appear from nowhere. For a predator, Attacking a sleeping human is not the easy meal it appears. It is a trap, and animals that survived long enough to pass on their genes learned to treat sleeping humans with extreme caution. This is called conditioned avoidance, and it is written into the behavior of large predators across the world, not in their DNA necessarily, but in their learned experience, passed from mother to cub, generation after generation. These strange creatures leave them alone when they are still. Now let's talk about something even more fascinating. What happens when a predator does approach a sleeping human and chooses not to attack? Researchers studying lion behavior in Botswana documented something extraordinary. A pride of lions approached a campsite at night. 4 lions, moving silently through the darkness. They investigated the camp carefully. They smelled the sleeping humans. They circled. And then, one by one, they lay down nearby, not to attack, not to wait for the humans to wake up. They simply rested there, as if the sleeping humans were not prey at all, but something else entirely. When the researchers reviewed the footage, they noticed something remarkable. The lions were behaving as if the sleeping humans were simply part of the landscape, something familiar, something known, something that did not require a response. This suggests that large predators may not simply be confused by sleeping humans. They may have genuinely categorized sleeping humans as something different from prey altogether, as a known presence in the environment, not dangerous, not food, just there. And here is where the story becomes truly extraordinary, because this same pattern appears across completely different predator species in completely different parts of the world. In India, tiger researchers have documented sleeping villagers who were passed over by tigers that had killed cattle just hours before. In North America, there are hundreds of documented cases of black bears and even grizzly bears approaching sleeping campers, sniffing them, and walking away without incident. In Africa, researchers studying hyenas found that the animals rarely disturbed sleeping humans, even when food was present at the campsite. The pattern is so consistent across so many species that it cannot be coincidence. Something fundamental is happening here, something ancient, and scientists now believe they understand what it is. It comes down to a concept called the landscape of fear. Every prey animal and every predator operates within a mental map of their environment. This map includes safe zones, danger zones, known threats, and unknown variables. Humans, even sleeping humans, occupy a very specific position on that mental map. We are not simply prey. We are a category of our own, something that requires calculation, something that has consequences, something that even the most powerful predator on Earth treats with a degree of care that looks, from the outside, almost like respect. But let's be clear about something important. This does not mean sleeping near predators is safe. It absolutely is not. The pattern of predators ignoring sleeping humans breaks down under specific conditions. When the predator is desperate, starving, or injured. When a human has been specifically identified as prey before. When the predator has lost its natural fear of humans through repeated safe contact. These are the conditions that produce the rare but devastating predator attacks on sleeping humans that do occasionally occur. The lion that ignored the sleeping man in Tanzania, and the lion that didn't ignore someone else. Both are real. Both follow from the same underlying biology. The difference is context. The difference is individual experience. The difference is the specific chapter in the ancient story between humans and predators that each particular animal is living in. So what does this tell us about the relationship between humans and the natural world? Perhaps it tells us that we are not as separate from nature as we like to believe. We are not visitors in the wilderness. We are part of it, woven into the behavior of every predator that has ever watched a human sleep and chosen to walk away. Our presence is written into their patterns. Our fire, our smell, our sound, our stillness, all of it, registered, cataloged, remembered, across millions of individual animal lives. We shaped them, and they shaped us, in ways that are still playing out, every night, in every wild place on Earth, where a predator watches a sleeping human, considers, and walks away into the darkness, carrying 2 million years of complicated history, in a single, quiet decision. If this made you see the natural world differently, share it with someone who loves wildlife, and I will see you in the next one.